Hi. And again, yes, this is a 3D props channel, but some things you need to do before you work on props is have all the different types of tools and little things, tools and whatnot that you need to do this job. And it's funny because you always think a little too late maybe, like you're about to paint something and you say, oh my God, I needed this specific thing. This came up with my son and I when we were working on, as you I'm sure have heard, there are these things called fidget spinners that every kid in the world has to have. Well, my son had to have them. When we got the 3D printer, we printed up quite a few. I'm gonna reach over here for one. So here's one, handy dandy fidget spinner. And we had some fun printing these things up and painting them. The problem is, when you have to paint something like this, what do? You could put rubber gloves on, which I would definitely do, and maybe just spray and then sort of move the thing around. That turned into a pain because you end up not getting the gloves and then you've got gold and orange and silver fingers, which was a pain. So I thought of something that will work for spinners, and it also is going to be a great way to paint other props. And I'm really excited about this because I've got some other props I'll show you in a second that this is going to work just fantastic with as well. So this is just a simple piece of board here, 2x4 or something, that I drilled on my bench press, a series of holes, okay? And a couple went through. You don't probably want to do that because let's say you're on the edge of a desk and you put your dowel in, it's going to slide right through. So I'm just going to cover those up with some putty. You're going to make mistakes, right? So what I'm going to do with this is I have this dowel, okay? And like I said, the dowel will just fit in here. I got to get used to that. Will fit in here, and the cool thing is, let's cut one off now. Okay, so I've got my dowel, and I want to see, what do we got here? 36 inches. So we're just going to cut that in half, and to do that, I'm just going to use these. They're for PVC, but you can sort of make short work of dowels with them as well. Okay, so now we have two pieces. Okay, so now that these have been cut pretty much same length, now what we can do is we can just go ahead and put them here. Put them here. Might be a little high, but now you could, like, here's a good example. Here's something we're going to be doing a video on. It's part of the Star-Lord costume, and this is part of the rocket boot. And I'm going to go through on how all this was done and smoothed out, and it still needs a lot of work, so those are going to be part of the video. But now again, how am I going to paint this? If I lay it flat, the bottom's getting touched, how am I going to do this? So I thought, why not create one of these sort of setups? Now I just have to set that on there, and I can spray paint every single angle of this. I don't have to worry about anything. There's a bunch of holes in this in different places. You'll see why when we're working on it. But again, hands-free, I don't have to do anything. I don't even have to touch it like I just did. I can just twirl the dowel around. Again, this is a scrap piece of wood, a few dowel. It's going to make things so easy to paint. Here is another piece. I don't know if I like how that balanced there. I think I'm going to work on something for more of a smaller helmety pieces like that. But this will be perfect. Now, I know I talked about fidget spinners. How is this going to work with a fidget spinner? Where are one of those fidget spinners? Not only do I have one fidget spinner, I've got several. Like I said, I've got a son. So that doesn't make much sense. That's not going to work, right? How am I going to do that? Let's take a look. Okay, so I got another dowel, and I'm just going to feed the spinners through, and I'm just going to go through the center. Because you got to remember, if some paint doesn't get exactly in the center, it doesn't really matter because that's where a bearing is going to be. And all these were the files. I've got these all over at, I want to say Thingiverse. So now what you can do is, you could probably do this a couple different ways. I'm just going to use clamps. And I just move these spinners around here like this. And now I can just do this. I can go on one side. You're going to get some spray paint on your clamps, but there might be a better way to do that. I was thinking maybe even string. You know, tying a little bit of string there on that end, and then on this end, just notch it over. Maybe put some little nail on each side. This is pretty quick. These clamps were maybe 50 cents a piece at like Harbor Freight or something, so I don't care if I get paint on them. It'll be part of this rig. And then I can just sort of spin them, or not even have to, just go from underneath, go from on top. Now, yes, if you're going to be doing different colors for each one, you're probably going to have to put one or two up here at a time, because if I tried to do this one gold and this one silver, that's not going to happen. But still, it's a quick way to print or to paint a whole bunch of spinners at the same time. And I will be using this quite a bit when I'm working on all of the 3D projects that we're going to be working on. I think we mentioned this right here. It's one of the rockets. So we can put that there. And now I've got these other areas here. Now, as you see, this goes off frame, but this is a lot higher. So I can be sort of working on some different things at different heights, so that I can sort of not just have one or two things here. So like, let's say they're all going to be the same color, and I can always go closer together, or I can go farther apart. I think you get the idea. So this was neat. It cost, you know, this was a piece of scrap wood. I mean, if you bought a 2x4, a couple dollars. Dowel, I think maybe $3 in dowel. And, you know, drill press. If you don't have a drill press, use a hand drill. Just make sure it's level when you're going down. And this is the perfect little fidget spinner painter and just handy painter tool. The other thing you can do is you can also clamp it to your table. So let's say you have something on here that's a little unwieldy. You know, you've got a bunch of these things on here, and you're worried it's going to fall over because of the weight maybe. This is a pretty heavy piece of wood, but let's say you just want to be more careful. You could now clamp this here, and it's not going to go anywhere. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. From time to time, we'll be obviously taking a break from doing videos on printed props and foam work to show little things like this, little tips and tricks on how to make, that sticks right in my face, how to make doing this, this stuff a lot easier. So if you like this video, again, I hope you click on the like button and subscribe. Thanks a lot.